Welcome back to another episode of the Revolutionary Girl Utena. So in the previous one, we got a start of a new core, and it was a very different start to a core. And what I mean by that is we got introduced to a lot of new concepts, specifically Anshi's brother and the Black Rose Society. Now, they did say that the Black Rose Society was approved by the end of the world, so they are approved there, but they don't have their own bride. They don't have their own Rose Bride, right? So they don't have the power to revolutionize the world right now, which obviously the Student Council, the Rose Society, I guess, the non-Black Rose, the Red Rose Society, whatever it is, that they have, right? So that is the only thing that they're trying to now achieve, right? They're trying to get the power of Dios, the power to revolutionize the world. And the way that they want to do that is by first, of course, getting Anshi, getting the Rose Bride, and then killing her and making... Wait, let me get my notes. I have it here. Making... Mamiya, a Rose Bride, even though Mamiya is a guy, but it is Mikage, right? Yeah, it's Mikage who's the leader of the society, and he wants to make Mamiya into the bride. So I don't know what's happening between them. It's an interesting dynamic that they have going on. Also, we saw Kanae, right, who is betrothed to Anshi's brother. Do we know the name of Anshi's brother? I think we probably do, but I don't have it written down here. I'm gonna write it down the sec. Oh yeah, we did get it, but I forgot to write it down. So I'm gonna see as it plays. But yeah, we got they're betrothed, they're engaged or whatever to be married. You guys let's talk about a bit more about the entire culture around like pre-arranged marriages in Japan and stuff. But yeah, that's why they have the same last name and stuff. All makes sense, right? It all makes sense. And let's see, at the end of the episode, there was a very ominous scene with Anshi and her brother, so I am curious about that and where this story is gonna go, because it took one hell of a turn. So yeah, let's see. So if you wanna watch this, Uncut and Blood as always on my page in the description, and let's go into the Revolutionary Girl Utena episode 15. Miki. Is he gonna end up being indoctrinated into the Black Rose Society? Let's see. Oh, the sister. I guess she's enjoying her youth. That would feel so weird. Because obviously as a brother you would be so protective, but also you want to let her freedom and stuff. The landscape framed by Kozue. Damn, okay, wait, what are we setting up here? I feel like we're setting up some crazy stuff here in these two episodes. Yo, Toga! Oh, he's been at home all this time, I see. Mmm. who's that gonna be? Oh. Oh. Hmm. I love how Utena dispels a lot of the tension that builds up. It feels good. You're grasping at straws. She's rooting on him. She's trying to protect Miki, right? Yep. Yep. It's a really interesting dynamic that they have going on, right? The siblings, because I feel like it's very classic for siblings to have this kind of dynamic where you try to protect one another, but you're embarrassed to actually show that you care about them because you are siblings at the end of the day. So you kind of try to just protect one another from like the shadows, if you will, right? You try to do stuff without the other one noticing it to protect it, which is I find really interesting. Also, oh shoot, what's the name? What's the sister's name again? They just mentioned it earlier. I forgot. I need to do I have it written down anywhere? I don't think so. No, I need to write it down when they mention it again. But yeah, I also kind of like the sister. Obviously, I think that you can be like, oh, she's she's a bit of a player. She's dating multiple guys and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is what high school. It's not like she's just because of that she would be a horrible person. It doesn't seem. I wonder what she is exactly all about. She does seem like she's enjoying her youth a bit, right? So interesting. And she cares about Miki, of course. The guardian angel Utena. Kozue. Ah, here she is, the Black Rose. The duelist. They found it. That was different. Does that mean that they don't approve of them? Wait, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna check something. Because I just thought about it, and I'm pretty sure I should have thought about it in the previous episode, but I'm gonna go back and check something real fast here. Episode 13. That's Akio, right? I definitely should have realized this, but I didn't until now. This is Akio. Okay. And this is like a spitting image of Mamiya, the prince. Interesting. Okay, that's what I wanted to check. Just to make sure, you know. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, she's 13? うーん。Once again, pretty similar to the entire thing with Toga and Naname, isn't it? To a lesser degree, but kind of similar. Or lesser intensity, I should say. The ring. Yep. Her deepest desire has been amplified. Oh. So, did Miki become her sword? I guess she controls Miki? It won't be too far off the mark. These duels are getting... Like, these duels are so different from the previous ones. With all the props. Mm. Mm. Both of the dudes so far have also been specifically for Anshi and highly involved with Anshi. And like jealousy or envy. Mm. Nice. Whoa. Oh, nice. Heart of Dios. Yep. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Mm. Okay, I have a lot to say. So, interesting. So, wow. That sentence there at the end of the episode when I think it was Mikage, right, who was like, "Oh, there's still plenty of student council members." This was the first one. So, okay, wow, interesting. So they are obviously gonna be going after all of the student council members and using their insecurities, using their some kind of like other parts of them to fight against Utena, right, and get Anshi from the student council, right? Here in this one, obviously, it was Kozue and Miki. Because of that, right? So it seems like they're taking someone who's connected to the student council members really closely and then making them wield the power of the student council member in a way, right? And the reason why it probably didn't work with Kanae is it felt a lot more empty, didn't it? With Kanae's motivation and stuff like that felt a lot more empty, a lot less personal than someone like Kozue, right? And Kozue was also, as I said earlier, she was able to wield the power, or I guess the sort of, like that was Miki, it seemed like, right? And was a lot stronger as well. She was a lot more formidable in the fight than Kanae was, right? Kanae just got instantly one-tapped. But here, Kozue was actually put up a bit of a fight here. So interesting. They're using those insecurities. That's that's so wild that they're doing that. But also, obviously, their motivation seems to be, you know, Anshi, getting Anshi and killing Anshi so that they can get their own Rose Bride. But so yeah, it seems like all of the members or all the duels here are very heavily centered around Anshi as well. And someone who has some kind of issue that is centered around Anshi, right? And anchored with Anshi. So their hate is fully directed towards them. Because with the other duels, like a lot of them were, some of them were connected with Anshi and wanting her as a Rose Bride, like let's say Sayunji, right? But a lot of them weren't, like let's say Nanami, right? So yeah, it's kind of those were kind of like 50-50, but here it feels like it's gonna be all probably Anshi. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong, but yeah, interesting. So also they have an interesting relationship. I feel like she spiraled a lot, Kozue, but yeah, you would feel really weird seeing, especially brother and sister, you would feel really weird because you are protective of one another, seeing your sibling be in this kind of situations, right? Whether they're flirting or whether they're being maybe preyed upon, all of those things, you would obviously want to try to protect them at any cost, right? But you wouldn't want them to know it. So it's really interesting the way that they're doing. As I said earlier, it does remind me a bit of the Toga and Nanami dynamic. Obviously, it felt like Nanami was a bit more intense as a person, and the way that she was coming off was a lot more intense and stuff. But Kozue, I mean, the dynamic is still pretty similar, right? And also, it does seem like she does have, like, her feelings might be a bit more amplified than just a normal sibling relationship there. And it seems like that's like a major theme in this, even from what we're seeing with Anshi and Akio, right? It seems like the sibling dynamic in this, at least from the siblings that we've seen, all of it seems pretty intense. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't know why that's a theme here, but maybe we'll see as the show goes on, right? Why every single relationship is this intense. Sibling relationship, I should say, is this intense. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Really cool stuff. Really, really interesting. Yeah, I really like the direction this is going. I really like Utena's role in this, because as I said earlier, it feels like there's like this tension that builds up. There's this uncomfortableness that builds up over the episode. And then sometimes Utena just comes in and she's like, yo, what's up? And just kind of like brings the vibe up a bit, you know, for just a scene or two. And then the vibe also like starts to, you know, get heavy again. But I really like her role. She kind of ensures, at least for now, she kind of ensures that the vibe doesn't fully tank and isn't like, it's not horrible to watch when it comes to the heaviness of it. So yeah, really cool. But there's so many interesting things now. Obviously, Mamiya also looks a lot like basically the prince. So what does that mean? I wonder, like Akio even, like Akio looks a lot like the prince and Mamiya, right? The same color hair, they have the same skin tone and all those things. And they seem to be, like, along with Anshi, they seem to be the only ones who have that kind of skin tone. No one even comes close. Everyone else seems a lot paler than they are. So I wonder what's happening there, right? So I guess we'll see all of those things in future episodes, right? So yeah, but for now, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.